Ancient Egypt, land of the pharaohs, pyramids, timeless mysteries. Step into the golden sands of time and uncover the wonders of ancient Egypt, one of the world's oldest and most fascinating civilizations. From monumental pyramids to mystical gods and legendary pharaohs, Egypt's ancient story is filled with beauty, brilliance, and enduring legacy. The gift of the Nile. The Nile River was the lifeline of ancient Egypt, flowing over 6,600 kilometers, turned desert into fertile land, enabling the growth of agriculture nearly 5,000 years ago. This made Egypt a wealthy and powerful kingdom. The Nile's annual flooding brought rich silt, allowing Egyptians to grow wheat, barley, and flax. It was so important that Egyptians even believed the river was a divine blessing. The pharaohs, god kings of Egypt. At the heart of Egypt's society stood the pharaoh, considered both king and a living god. The pharaoh wasn't just a ruler, he was a priest, general, and symbol of divine order. The earliest rulers formed Upper and Lower Egypt around 3100 BCE, uniting under King Narmer-Menes. Some of the most famous pharaohs include Djoser, builder of the first pyramid; Khufu, Cheops, ordered the Great Pyramid of Giza; Hatshepsut, the powerful female ruler who expanded trade; Akhenaten introduced monotheism and worship of Aten; Tutankhamun, King Tut, known for his tombs discoveries; Ramses II, one of Egypt's greatest warrior kings; the pyramids, timeless wonders. No mention of Egypt is complete without the pyramids of Giza. Built over 4,500 years ago, these massive stone structures were tombs for pharaohs and a symbol of their divine power. The Great Pyramid of Khufu is the last surviving wonder of the ancient world. How these pyramids were built with such precision using primitive tools remains one of history's biggest mysteries. They were aligned with the stars, built with perfect geometry, and made from over 2 million blocks of stone. Nearby, the Great Sphinx of Giza, with a lion's body and human head, stands as a guardian of these monuments, inventions, and achievements. Ancient Egyptians were pioneers in science, art, and technology. Hieroglyphics, a system of writing using over 700 symbols. Scribes carved them on tombs, temples, and papyrus scrolls. Papyrus, the world's first form of paper made from the papyrus plant. Mathematics used geometry for land measurement, architecture, and pyramid building. Medicine practiced surgeries, dentistry, and recorded treatments in scrolls like the Ebers Papyrus. Calendar developed a 365-day calendar to track the Nile's flood cycle, religion, and the afterlife. The Egyptians believed in a rich world of gods and life after death. Temples were built to honor gods like Ra, the sun god; Osiris, god of the afterlife; Isis, goddess of magic and motherhood; Anubis, god of mummification. They believed that after death the soul would journey through the Duat underworld and be judged by Osiris. If their heart was lighter than the feather of truth, they entered the field of reeds, heaven. If not, the soul was devoured by Amit, the demon. To preserve bodies, they developed mummification, removing organs, drying the body with natron salt, and wrapping it in linen. Tombs were filled with goods, treasures, and magical texts to guide the dead in the afterlife. Temples and tombs. Magnificent temples and tombs stand as evidence of their architectural genius. Karnak and Luxor temples, grand religious centers. Abu Simbel, carved out of rock by Ramses II. Valley of the Kings, burial site of pharaohs including Tutankhamun. These places weren't just beautiful, they were astronomical, spiritual, and cultural landmarks, trade and daily life. Ancient Egypt was rich in gold, grains, linen, and papyrus. It traded with Nubia, Mesopotamia, and even distant lands like the Indus Valley. Goods like cedar wood from Lebanon, incense from Punt, and lapis lazuli from Afghanistan enriched Egyptian culture. Everyday Egyptians lived in mud brick homes, worked as farmers, craftsmen, and traders. Women had legal rights, and children played with toys made of wood and clay. Cats were revered and often kept as pets. Art and culture. Egyptian art was symbolic and stunning. Wall paintings, sculptures, and jewelry reflected their beliefs. Colors had meanings. Green equals rebirth, gold equals divinity. Artists followed strict rules to depict gods and people in profile. Music, dance, and literature thrived. Love poems, wisdom texts, and religious hymns were part of cultural life. The famous Book of the Dead guided souls through the afterlife with spells and illustrations. The fall of ancient Egypt. Over centuries, Egypt faced invasions by the Hyksos, Assyrians, Persians, and Greeks. In 332 BC, Alexander the Great conquered Egypt, beginning the Ptolemaic dynasty. His descendant, Cleopatra VII, was the last active ruler before Rome annexed Egypt in 30 BCE. Even after his fall, Egypt's legacy endured through Roman, Islamic, and modern times. Rediscovery and legacy. In 1799, the Rosetta Stone was discovered, unlocking the mystery of hieroglyphics thanks to the scholar Jean-François Champollion. Since then, archaeologists have uncovered temples, tombs, and treasures, revealing the grandeur of Egyptian civilization. Today, ancient Egypt continues to captivate the world through museums, movies, documentaries, and games. Its art, ideas, and architecture remain symbols of timeless ingenuity and human achievement. Final words. Ancient Egypt was more than pyramids and mummies. It was a civilization of thinkers, builders, and dreamers who reached for the stars. With their gods, pharaohs, and eternal monuments, they created a culture that still echoes through history. From the golden mask of Tutankhamun to the sunlit banks of the Nile, ancient Egypt lives on, etched forever in the sands of time.